I truly love when Spirit drops into me the epiphanies, the aha moments, the clarity, the understandings of my life. When I have these moments of connection to understanding myself even better, it's like a poof of just blissfulness. And I guess it just makes me happy to understand who I am beyond just the story that I've experienced, while also being the story that I've experienced. And so I just had a big ass moment of clarity where I've known pretty much my entire life, like, I ruffle feathers. My speaking, my existence is literally a trigger to the people that I experience, knowingly and unknowingly, purposeful and not purposeful, mostly not purposeful. And my lived experience, let's say move beyond that. Okay. People always talk about, or more recently, I keep hearing this message. What did you do as a kid that you loved? What did you do as a kid? And there exists in my mind this fogginess because I still have a detachment to my childhood because of everything I experienced. Because I'm still wrapped up in the suffering of my story. And every time they ask that, I feel a little bit of frustration. It's like, dang, I guess I'm never going to have the answer to that question. I guess I'm never going to know what really lights me up, what really exists for me that feels good, that feels like I should be doing this because I also did it as a kid so freely. And bam, just now in this moment, or previous moment, the clarity just appears in your mind, in my mind, and I'm just like, wow, that makes sense. As a kid, I spoke truth, raw, unsettling, rattling, earth-shaking truth. And that really shook up people's existence, the people that I experienced around me. And in my pure heart and mind as a kid, to me, it felt like helping. To me, it felt like it needed to be said. And sometimes I would just say things that flowed through me. But it was needed. And it felt good. But after so many years of just being constantly put into a box and there's just a whole story around that light being snuffed out of me. But it was necessary. And now as I start to record things to share with the world that are rattling and unsettling, and I know it's going to ruffle feathers. It feels good, but it also puts me back into the place of my childhood where my trauma and suffering existed around doing this, around being the truth teller, around wrestling feathers. And so just like the message that just flowed through me, it's if I hadn't even just recorded that message, it would have took more time for this clarity to come in. I don't think that it wouldn't have never come in, but it wouldn't have happened right now in this moment as it should have if I didn't listen to the call to speak it. And now I get to feel the release of tension in my body and the blissfulness that I feel in even just speaking it out of the energy and existence of what flowed through me into the words that we understand. So I can now say, as a kid, I found joy in speaking truth, in speaking the words and messages and energies that flowed through me to the humans that needed to hear it. And you can kind of think like, okay, you were a kid, like that's not really something, the limitations of humans. That's not really something that kids do or kids should do. But it was what I did. It was literally my natural state of being. And for so long, I keep trying to tiptoe around. Keep trying to tiptoe around this existence, which is why things don't make sense, which is why things don't always align for me. Because I keep trying to step into different versions, let's not even say different. I keep trying to be toned down. I keep trying to avoid making people uncomfortable. I keep living my life through the lens of the trauma of my childhood, because making other people comfortable became necessary for my survival. But that story is not my story anymore. I am no longer existing in that environment. And so now I keep trying to create the same environment for myself. But it doesn't feel good because it's not right for me. It was never right for me. There was a drastic shift that I had to do with myself to survive. And now that I am in a state of non-survival, I now need to move back into the true essence of myself and exist in the full flow of my blissfulness. Exist in my natural state before survival, before the limitation of the human experience. I just have to be with that for a moment. Like, how fucking amazing. fucking amazing.